Hey guys, so today I wanted to ask the question, do you have to be bad or know how to be bad to become good? I know a few days ago I released a video, and as of right now it hasn't released yet. So I don't know the impact on my subscriber count, but I released a video of where I talked about how I get revenge on girls and stuff, and how I know it's wrong and stuff like that. But I wanted to ask you a question, like, do you have to be bad to be good? And this question was prompted by the fact that I had to read a lot of Nietzsche in grad school recently. I had to read around 2/3 of On the Genealogy of Morals and the entirety of The Will to Power. And what a common theme that comes up in this is that morality requires immoral methods to become the standard within a society. And at first when people hear something like that, they're like, what? That clearly is not right. That doesn't make sense. But then when you give it a little bit of thought, you start to realize, like, oh, that's kind of true. In the sense that, like, for example, I mean, the morality of um of Rome, the morality of the Roman the Roman man, was so opposed to Jewish morality in the time of Christianity that, you know, I think that the Romans considered Jesus immoral because he was trying to impose his values on the Roman people. And you know what? He failed in the beginning because they killed him, right? But not so, right? He won in the end. Christ won. And he did it by being immoral in some respects, and by fighting not only the Romans themselves, but the Sadducees, the priests who were basically in their pockets the whole time, right? The and the classic example of a moral thing which is brought about through immorality in the case of Christ, for me, is the overturning of the money changers, right? That was an angry act. That was an immoral act to the to the court of the Gentiles, and to the priestly establishment. That's plainly what it was. And yet he did it. He did it. He asserted his morality against the priests through immorality. And I mean, I think of people like, classic example, Martin Luther King. He his actions at the time were considered immoral because the laws of that time were flatly discriminatory, brothers and sisters. But he broke the law, and he broke and all civil rights leaders at that time, not just King, okay? It wasn't just King, right? But I mean, they broke the law, brothers and sisters, but they broke it for a good reason. They were immoral for moral reasons, and they established eventually their morality. They really did it. And I mean, Nietzsche is kind of right. Every moral, every decent act requires, especially if it's been entrenched for so long, a little bit of immorality, a little bit of rule breaking. Now, I'm not saying this gives you license to go out and break a law just because you think it's wrong. What I'm saying is that you have to think hard about it and think really, really deeply about what a law means. And if that law is just so indecent, so inhuman, then that's when you can do it. Don't. I recently talked about how I misunderstood the Tao, right? To make myself lazy and to excuse my own behavior. Well, you shouldn't do that here. But be aware that laws, they're not set in stone. You have the power. Guys, you have the will to power. I honestly believe that.